Check 1 2. Mic check. Okay. Let's try it again. Mic check 1 2. Okay, here we go again, everyone. I'm sorry about the technical difficulty earlier. I'm not sure what happened, but I will work out the bugs and perfect that in the future. But for the limited time that I have, let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. I'm talking to you about how to turn your computer into a digital mixer. And again, the only thing that you're going to require is two things. You're going to require a piece of software called Reaper that I have on the left, and you're going to require a piece of software on the right called Dante Via. And as I tried to explain a moment ago, we are treating Dante Via here on the left, the white part over here, we're treating Dante Via like the inputs to a mixer. You know how you plug a microphone into the mixer, or you plug, a computer into the mixer. You plug your keyboard, your bass into the mixer. We're treating Dante Via like the inputs to a mixer. And I will talk about in another video different solutions to plug your analog sources into something, and then that source send out a digitized Dante destination to your computer so that they appear over here in Dante Via. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see, I'm going to illustrate it like this. I am going to, let me illustrate it. God bless your sister, I think Rochelle. Rochelle reacted to this video. God bless your sister, Rochelle. This right here is a simple Cat5e cable. You can use Cat5e or you can use Cat6 cable. Either one of those cables will be perfectly fine for all of your Dante Via needs. And then I'm just going to illustrate if this operates correctly over here in Dante Via. Oh, it didn't disappear yet. Here you go. Over here in Dante Via, the only thing you're going to have to do is take your Cat5, plug it into your device. After you plug your Cat5 into your device, then it will pop up here in Dante Via like you see here. You see at the bottom of the screen, Dante devices. It shows that I have my keyboard, which is a Korg Triton Studio. We have the Korg Triton Studio plugged into a stereo Dante dongle. And because it's plugged into the stereo Dante dongle, it shows up here in Dante Via right here. Because my USB microphone is plugged in USB into the computer, it shows up here in Dante Via right here as the wireless go. Any audio device that you have plugged into your computer, whether it's plugged in USB, whether it's plugged into the analog input, whether it's plugged in Dante, all you have to do is plug it into the computer some sort of way, and it's going to appear here. And only thing you have to do is enable it. And once you enable it, it will be recognized on the Dante network, and then you will be able to bring it into Reaper so Reaper can output it where you want it to be output to, okay? So let me just say that again. You have to have some type of device, whether it's a mixer, like I showed you a moment ago, whether it's a mixer that will convert your analog source into Dante information to put it on the network, or if you have Dante dongles, or if you have, I'm not going to go over there and get it, but I have like a Yamaha TIO 1608. It is 16 analog inputs 8 analog outputs, and there's one Cat5 cable that comes out the back that spits out Dante information. You have to have some sort of device like that if you want to take microphones, if you want to take keyboards, if you want to take any outside analog source into the computer. You got to have some type of device that will convert that, okay? But anything that plugs directly into the computer, anything that plugs directly into the computer, I'll say that one more time, anything that plugs directly into the computer, like a USB microphone, like like if you take your laptop and you come out of the 1/8" headphone jack and plug into the computer 1/8" input, all of those things that you can plug directly into the computer will automatically show up in Dante Via. And let me show you the power of Dante Via. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Dante Via as a 16-channel input device. So essentially, I'm going to turn my current computer that I'm on, the computer that's connected to this, I am going to turn, you can kind of see it behind me right here, this Macintosh right here. I'm going to turn it into a 16-channel input audio device so that any of my live streams, I can live stream, have control of my audio, but I don't need to invest in a $2,000, $3,000 mixer. You don't got to spend $2,000, $3,000 for this. You can get by definitely under $500 for everything you would need with a couple of little dongles and 2 pieces of very inexpensive software, okay? So let me move forward. Let me just look at my screen, make sure there's no questions. God bless you, everyone. I know you're probably at work, but God bless you on today. Chat. Alrighty, no questions, no comments. The stream is stable. Let me move forward. Alrighty, so, where's the button? Now, what we're doing, hang on, let me close this. What we're doing, everyone, is we're treating Dante Via as the input, and we're treating Reaper as the output. Let me say that again. Dante Via will be like the inputs of your mixer, and Reaper will be like the output of your mixer. This is how you're going to be able to send your audio wherever you want to send it, okay? And I'm just going to illustrate it, and I will give more setup information in another video. It's really simple. If you look at the list here, what do I want? I want to make my computer a 16-channel input, okay? So I have my sources on the left-hand side right here and my destinations right here. I want to move any of these sources over here to the destination that I want. Let me say that again. I want to move my source, where my audio is originating from, to this 16-channel destination, okay? And I already have my wireless Go, my microphone that I'm wearing. I already have this microphone, which is plugged into this computer down here, USB. It is already, I enabled it, and I drug it over here to the 16-channel input, and it's on channels 1 and 2. And over here in Reaper, on this first track, I right-click on the record enable button. I make sure monitor input is checked. I like to go over here to record input. I want to force it to be a stereo input, which it is. And then I will go down here and I will select input 1 and 2. So now that I was in Dante Via, I drug it over to the 16-channel application input 1 and 2. And then on this channel, I made sure that input 1 and 2 is selected. So this first channel is my USB microphone. Now I have volume control of my USB microphone. And then on the next track, I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to make sure that it's a stereo input. I'm going to go here and then I'm going to make sure that input 3 and 4 is selected. And then what I'm going to do is come over here. Let me find the source. The source will be the Korg Triton Studio. I already have a Dante dongle that is connected. I already labeled it as my Korg Triton Studio. And now it appears here in Dante. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to drag it over here. And then I am going to append source to destination 3 and 4. When I drag it, I have to make sure that I'm paying attention to what channels it is. It's going to channels 3 and 4, which is where I want it to go. So I'm going to drop it in there. And then now, anytime I play my keyboard, my keyboard should show up. Let me make sure it's connected. Make sure I didn't mess that up. Let's make sure. It should be right. Korg Triton Studio is dragged over to the 16 channel input. And let me just do this. Let me do this. It's on 3 and 4. It should show up. Hope my keyboard didn't freak. Now my keyboard, I don't know why I keep having gremlins today. My keyboard froze up. My computer froze up. Every time I'm trying to do something. Scripture says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Amen. And I think that is so true. So while that does that, I'm going to go here to the next track. I'm going to label this laptop keys. So my laptop has a keyboard as well. And what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to right click on the record enable button. I'm going to make sure that it's a stereo track, record input for stereo. I like to make sure that I'm forcing each track to be the thing that I want it to be, whether it's mono, stereo, or MIDI. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to change the input to input 5 and 6. So now when I enable laptop keys, my laptop needs to be on input 5 and 6. So I'm going to go to Dante Via here. I'm going to grab my laptop down here and I'm going to drag it over here to the 16 channel application input. And then it's going to say, hang on one second, I want to do something different real quick because it's too many channels. I have my laptop coming as a 16 channel device, but I only need and want it to be a stereo device. Let me fix that quickly. Hang on one second. Boom, boom, make that stereo. Very good. So now, instead of being a 16 channel device, because I didn't want it to take up those other channels. So now I'm going to drag it over here and it says append to 5 and 6. So I'm going to drag that over there. And then now, that's my Korg Triton you're hearing. Let me close my Korg Triton. Let me open back up my main stage. Sorry I had so many issues, everyone. It's not going as smooth as I wanted it. Click there, it's opening up. And then now, hang on, I need to do one more thing. This communicates over the network, so I have to enable the network. Hang on, it just take a second. Come on and stop playing here. Connect. And then there it is. So now this is my main stage. These are the sounds on my laptop. These are the sounds on my laptop, and if I bring this up on the screen, you can see on the third track, you see the laptop sounds, and then watch this. When I simply start to turn up the Korg Triton, you hear those sounds coming in, and if we look at it, now you see the Korg Triton on the second track. And so now, as you can see, I have full, I have, what is that noise? Arpeggio is on, hang on. I have full control. I have full control of what I'm doing. I can turn down the Triton, turn down the keys. I don't have either one of them. I can turn up the laptop, which is the piano sound. I can turn up the Korg Triton, which is the keyboard sound. I can blend them, and my voice is right there, all right? So now you see how I am in real time. I'm in real time. Let me bring up my keyboard. Good gracious alive. Give me a second, man. This stuff gets on my last nerve. Oh, Jesus, help me. Man. See, if I was like a billionaire, I wouldn't have any of these problems because I would have the best, the newest that money could buy. I would always be current. I just throw money at problems and then I would just be the best online instructor there is. But because I'm like you, I'm balling on a budget. Alrighty, so now we can see my keyboard, and you can see how I'm live and in real time. And no matter what I do, now that I'm in real time, I'm illustrating how one computer is acting like my digital mixer, because I've showed you how I can bring up Reaper, and if I want less of my voice, all I gotta do is take my mouse and bring it down. Hang on. Check, just bring it down. And I don't want my voice that soft, but you can see how I got less voice now, right? It's real easy and real simple. What is the value? What is the value of doing it like this? The value is that now in Reaper, I can add effects. I can add, now this is gonna sound terrible, but I'm just doing it to illustrate. I can, let me see, go here, kill this. I can just grab a reverb and I can add it. And what I'm doing is I'm adding a reverb to, let me see, where's my monitor? I don't add real-time effects a lot, but I can add reverbs in real time. I can add effects in real time. I'm not gonna go through to do that, but you can add effects in real time. You can do so many different things because you are using your computer as a digital mixer. Let me see if there's any questions or comments real quick. Let me close this. All righty, let me see the chat. All right, there's no questions or comments. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know now because I'm not gonna be on here long. But this is a very quick example, everyone, of how I am turning my computer into a 16-channel mixer without nothing but my computer. Let me talk about this real quick. Let me bring something on the screen. How much does Dante Via cost? I'm glad you asked. Dante Via, if you go to, bring this on the screen, if you go to audinate.com, and you click on Dante Via, I'm using the $59 package. What that is, it gives you a license for Dante Via to go onto one computer. And what I do a lot, I only have one license with Dante Via, but if I mainly use Dante Via on this machine. But if I want to use it on my laptop, it's very simple. You can deactivate it real quick on this computer and then put Dante Via over here on another computer. I like Dante Via because of that, and it's $59 for the software license. To have this software right here, it's $59, okay? To have Reaper, there are many digital audio workstations. There's Pro Tools, there's Logic, there's many. I like Reaper because it works. I like Reaper because it is, first of all, it's inexpensive. I was very skeptical at first. What is it? I think it's, there it is, Reaper.fm. I was very skeptical at first because I'm kind of the mindset you get what you pay for. But I do understand just because something is expensive, that doesn't mean it's effective. And so I gave this a shot after my brother Jeremy and my brother Cameron, when they told me about Reaper. I went ahead and tried it, and I paid $60 for this. Now I exclusively use Reaper. I exclusively use Reaper. Reaper works. It doesn't, I haven't had it crash. I haven't had issues. It's not so, what's the word I'm looking for? CPU hungry, that you have to have a super strong computer to use it. Dante Via and Reaper are both Windows and Mac friendly. And for $120 roughly, you can turn your computer into a digital mixer. Now again, you do have to have some type of way to get your analog signals, like your microphones. I think I got a microphone or 3 in here. Should I do it? No, I ain't gonna do it. You have your microphone, right? You gotta have a way to take this analog signal and digitize it. The easy way, if you got an old analog mixer laying around, remember, let me bring this back on the screen, Dante Via will digitize anything that's connected to the computer. So if you have a computer with an 1/8 inch analog input, it's real simple. Get you a small, cheap mixer, $40, $50. Take your microphones, plug them into that mixer, and then come out of that mixer into your computer in that 1/8 inch. And once it's plugged into the computer, Dante Via will simply allow you to take, come on mouse, it will allow you to take your built-in microphone right here, enable it, and then the only thing you have to do is just drag it to the 16 channel input, or drag it to the stereo input, right? So that's the value of this. And let's just pretend, well, hey man, I like what you're saying, Brother Casper, Pastor Casper, I like what you're saying about how you can turn your computer into a digital mixer, but I don't want to buy Reaper. Can I just use Dante Via? The answer is yes. One way to use Dante Via is like this. One way to use Dante Via without Reaper is like this. You just simply pretend that you don't have Reaper. I'm gonna close Reaper so that you don't see it. Close this other stuff. Let me bring OBS back open. Bring OBS back open. So I'm gonna have Dante Via, right? Let me close all this extra stuff. I got Dante Via open, and all I'm gonna do is, let's just pretend that I have a mixer that I have the microphones and stuff plugged into, and then I'm using the output of the mixer and I'm plugging it into the built-in line input of my computer. Then all you have to do is just drag this to your stereo input. And the thing I like about the stereo input, you see these faders right here? It comes with a built-in mixer. So you can take different, I'm just gonna pretend, let me see. I'm just going to grab, let's just say, I'm gonna grab this and drag it to the stereo. I'm gonna grab one more thing. I'm gonna grab, yeah, let me just go ahead and grab Reaper. Enable Reaper, drag it to the stereo input. Now, if you click on this mixer, once again, I have my different sources that are in my computer. I drag them to the stereo application input, and the stereo application input comes with the advantage of once you drag stuff to it, you can control the volume here. It's essentially doing what Reaper was doing when I used Dante Via as my input and Reaper as my output. You can also use Reaper as your input, and then you use your stereo application input, use that mixer as your output. And now you would just, for say, let's just pretend in OBS. In OBS, you would make sure that the stereo application input is your source for said audio. Let me drag this over here. You won't be able to see it if I remove it. So just ignore OBS, but you can see how my volume is here. Let's pretend that my stereo application input was the source for this channel. Now, when I adjust the volume here, the volume in OBS would change, all right? The disadvantage to this only works best when you are only using it to live stream. I would not do it like this if you were trying to use your computer for a digital mixer so the people in your congregation can hear in the church. If you was using the output to some speakers, I wouldn't use the stereo application input, because in OBS, when you monitor, there is a small delay. So I would not send OBS to some speakers. I would only send OBS to the live stream. And then if I was the media professional in my church and I want to preview what the stream sounds like, then I would come to properties, and then I would turn monitoring and output on so I can hear what's going to the live stream in some headphones like what I'm wearing. But I would not use this output to some speakers from OBS because it's going to be delayed. That's the value of using Reaper with Dante Via. Let me recap real quickly, and then I'm going to close and get off of here. So if you are wanting to use your laptop, for instance, as your mixer for some speakers, I will even say it's a must. Don't even try to use Dante Via by itself. I wouldn't try to use Dante Via by itself. It's just better to go through Reaper, because with Reaper, you can control the latency better. Through Reaper, you can add some effects and some process and some EQ, because you're wanting to treat it like a mixer. You're going to want to EQ a microphone. You're going to want to EQ different things if you're coming through some speakers, all right? Definitely if you're coming through some speakers, because different rooms sound different. You need to attenuate, you need to take out the problem frequencies, etc. You want to be able to EQ. Reaper and Dante Via, it's good for that. I do it all the time. And there is negligible latency. As one tip, real quickly, I'm not going to go too deeply into it, but in Reaper, if you go to the audio section, you can change your driver, what's it called? You can change your, I'm going to do a total different video on this, so I'm not going to break it down. I'm just going to reference it. In Reaper, you can go to audio device and you can request the block size. I always request a block size of 128, about 128 and under. Once you start going under 128, depending on how strong your computer is, you'll start getting pops and clicks and you're like, why does my audio sound like that? It's because the lower the number, the lower the latency. But when you get so low, your computer can't keep up, and so you hear some pops and clicks. It's demanding too much from the CPU, right? So 128 is kind of safe for me, no matter if I'm using my laptop, my big machine, a Mac Mini. 128 has been the magic number. On one or two of my machines, I can go down as low as 64 without any artifacts. But 128 is near perfect latency. It's not perfect, but it's near perfect where it's not an issue. Especially if you have, like, let's say you got background singers and stuff. What I do is I use Reaper for my in-ears. So when we show up, we don't got floor monitors, we have headphones. And when the singers are listening, 128 is so near perfect, the singers aren't hearing themselves late. Because once you start hearing yourself late, it will get on your nerves. And 128 is near perfect, okay? And so I will explain how to decrease the latency in another video. But as a quick recap, one thing you want to do, especially if you are trying to turn your computer in a mixer so that you can send the output of your computer to some speakers, you want to use Reaper and Dante Via. I also recommend it for a live stream, because what this does is it gives you EQ and different things on different channels, and you can control the live stream mix without affecting what is going to your front of house mix. We can talk more about that in another video. But also, if you want, you don't have to use the 16 channel input with Reaper. You can go straight into the stereo input and use this little mixer right here and not even use Reaper, especially if it's for a live stream mix, okay? That's all I have for today. If you don't have any questions or comments, I'm going to get off of here. Let me just look. Let me bring up my comment thing real quick. Let me retype it in because I accidentally closed it. Make sure there's no questions or comments I need to address. 1 second here. Oh, magnify the Lord, for he worthy to be praised. Oh, magnify the Lord, for he is worthy to be praised. I'm in C. Hosanna, blessed be the rock. As you can see, this is 100% through my computer. Sounds perfect. Bring the what's the face on. Man, stop. My bad. No sound from the keyboard. What you mean no sound from the keyboard? What you mean? You hear my voice though, right, Rochelle? What's up, Rodney? Man, if you don't call me, man, I'm gonna hit you with the bass guitar. What you mean, Rochelle, you're not hearing no sound from the, What you mean you're not hearing no sound from the keyboard, Rochelle? Do you hear my voice? Okay, I know what's happening. And OBS, I have to have the wrong, I gotta have the wrong, let me think this through real quick. Yes, Jesus loves me. Alrighty. Let me think this through. Why? Hang on. That's the other problem. Let me just think real quick. I done went through all that. Y'all couldn't hear no sound from the keyboard. Dang, Rochelle, you should have called me, girl. Let me see. Let me think this through. So what I'm doing is 16 channel. I'm gonna disable stereo. I'm gonna make sure that over here I'm using, okay, Dante Via 16. So y'all didn't hear none of this. I'm gonna close my mic for a second. All right. So what happened is I had the wrong and then go to Reaper. Oh, Rochelle, the things I go through. Aggregate device. It should have worked. Check. I'm having some technical difficulties That's what it is. Hang on, let me normal back up. Let me normal back up. I'm so sorry. Let me just normal back up. Go back here. And then go back here. I've had more problems today. I tell you what, if y'all want to donate to my equipment upgrade fund, I could get rid of these technical difficulties. And then let me go back to Dante Via. I'm up there moving. I got Rodney watching. Rodney watching, and Rodney ain't heard nothing. That's hilarious. Everything's right. So again, okay. So all I need to do then, think this through. That'll cause feedback. I'm gonna do it different real quick, Rochelle. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna keep that right there. And then over here in my aggregate device. All right, everyone. I'm just going to do it like that. I apologize for my technical difficulty. I'm going to figure out why my system is being wonky on today. I apologize. But again, I hope this was informative to you. Even though you couldn't hear me play, I will fix that next time. But God bless you, everyone. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Remember, visit the website, www.preachandplay.com. God bless you, everyone. We'll see you next time.